Good morning, everybody. I'm Kathy Hester. Welcome to my kitchen. And I've had a coffee on an empty stomach, just in case you're wondering why I'm so perky. But also, we did take a walk, and it's just been a nice day. So first off, thank you for joining me. I know I've switched the time up a bit. I've been going live at 1 o'clock, and it's 11 o'clock, which is a little early. For some of you on the West Coast, I apologize, but you can replay this too. So I appreciate you being here. And as always, you probably can hear Max downstairs going, wait, I hear her talking to the people. Where is my treat? And he's down there with Cheryl. Cheryl's working downstairs in the basement. That is not a basement, right? So please say hello. Let me know what's going on, how you're doing, what the weather's like. It is chilly here, so I have a sweatshirt on today. Good morning, Linda. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. How's the weather where you guys are? It's sunny and beautiful. You guys never get a really good view out of that window, unfortunately. But it's sunny, and it's probably about 46 right now, so we already took a walk, and it was really nice. I wanted to do this early because yesterday I received the Misfit Market box, and I opened it and stole a couple of things out for dinner last night, but I think everything will have kept well because we don't turn on the heat yet. I had to turn on the air conditioning, so it would just be a personal affront to turn on the heat as well. So I see more of you are on, so please tell me hello. And those of you who don't know, let me give you the 10-second spiel about Misfit Market. There are a lot of companies like Misfits Market. This is the one that I use. It's not all over the country yet, but they have a lot of waiting lists. Depending on where you're seeing this video somewhere, if you click on it on Facebook, you should see it to the side or below. And it gives you the link to Misfits Market and my code. And with my code, you'll get 25% off if it's your first order with Misfits Market. There are other things like Imperfect Produce, Hungry Harvest, and more than I'll ever know all over the country. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to get this one, but I've been really happy with Misfit Market. With it, all the produce is organic. And they have a big box and a small box. We're going to unbox the big box. It's $35, and then I think it's $5 for shipping. And when you see all the produce, last week was light, but it wasn't even that light. Good morning, Brandy. And you can also try, because I know it's a little harder to get food right now too, so that's why I want to put out some of these options. And in the comments I have a link to get a free 30-day of trial of Prime. If you were near a Whole Foods, you can get that ordered and delivered to your house, just like this is delivered to my house. And a code for Instacart for $10 off. And that's most places as well. And Deborah said she got her Misfits box yesterday, and she's grateful to have fresh produce. And I know yesterday this looked really good, so I will tell you if some of this doesn't look good because it's my fault. But I thought it was cool enough. And they do have, so there's a little bit of yellowing on the greens. My fault. They were perfect yesterday. So it's covered with this piece of cardboard. Cheryl, yesterday, before we brought it in the house, she went ahead and took a disinfectant wipe and wiped all over it. I will also be soaking these vegetables for a little while, well, not forever, but like washing them in the sink. I'm going to put a few drops of unscented dish detergent and let them sit for a few minutes and then rinse them, dry them off, and store them. That is also because of the virus and what we're dealing with. I've been doing research, and different people say different things, but it seems like that wouldn't hurt. They definitely say vinegar doesn't help with the virus removal, though there's nothing wrong with using it too. And some people even say just rinse the produce off. And if it's being cooked, theoretically you don't have to rinse it at all. But there are going to be some pears and some other things that I might eat raw, or cruciferous crunch I want to eat raw or regular. Does that make sense? Hi, Sherry from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is sunny and cool here. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so I have some collards, and they are a little less beautiful because of me. They had none of this yellow, and I'll show you a little bit closer up, okay? So it had, perhaps I will. My camera's, there we go. So I'm just going to remove that little yellow part, and that's because I left them sitting overnight when I got them last night, okay? And a little bit of water will just poof those guys back up. And that's still a good bit. Yeah, and Brandy said I'd wash it all so there's no worries. And that's what I'm doing right now. But I do want to let you know that I am, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I do know scientists and doctors, and I think it's not a bad idea. And so these are really pretty big. I always say, we always look to see how big it is compared to the size of my head. This time we have some organic green beans in little packages. You know what that means? Ooh, okay, we're going to have to remove some of these. And so I did get a picture. There's a little piece of mold in one, and there's some scarring. So let's talk a little bit, because in my group, people were asking the difference, I think, between scarring and bad places. And let me see if I can find a couple of good examples. Okay. And so this is 2 pounds of beans. So these are not perfectly ends clipped, so you're going to need to take the ends off of these. But let's look a little closer. Soft, right? That's soft. So that's bad. We don't have to get rid of the whole green bean. We just have to go down a little bit. We'll tear it off, snap it off about there. This part will go into the compost. Okay, now this is not soft. That's scarring. Okay? This is scarring and a little bit old. But it's got both. And so some things this one's going to go into the compost. Okay? This one has some scarring and a bad place. But this is not soft, right? So that's how you're going to tell if it's, see, that's a little bit soft. None of that is. So let's take it off here. So sometimes when we're dealing with scarring versus is something bad, we kind of have to judge what's going on. Now, if you look back on the Plant-Based Instant Pot Facebook page and go to the videos, or you go to my YouTube channel, I have a video where basically I had gotten some of these packages that had the ends off already. So all you need to do is get the ends off and have them fairly consistent. Like I wouldn't have this little guy in with this big guy. And then I tossed it in a little bit of soy sauce and then some sesame seeds and a little bit of seaweed, and I roasted them in the air fryer, and we ate them with our sandwiches. It was good. This is one of 3 bok choys. One is in my stomach from yesterday, and Cheryl had one too. The bok choy was really beautiful. And there's just something nice about that. So how I actually cook that is I used a General Tso sauce that I had already made and added a little bit of extra gluten-free tamari so it would cut the heat a little bit for Cheryl. I made my broccoli and garlic sauce, which the recipe is on healthyslowcooking.com, and I made an impromptu sweet and sour sauce with pineapple and soy sauce, gluten-free tamari sauce, rice wine vinegar, a little bit of ketchup, onions, garlic, and it was just really yummy. It was really, really easy. And so here we have some pears. These pears are pretty. So again, these pears are hard, which is good. Sometimes if the pears are a little soft, they will get banged up really badly in the boxes. Let's see if you can, yeah, okay, you can still kind of see these guys. I try to make it so we can get everything and you can see a clear picture near the end. Okay, we've got limes. And I can make a limeade or a margarita mix or a virgin margarita mix, right? are virgin mojitos with, if you have some mint that's starting to grow, that's kind of a fun way to use your limes. And you can sweeten it with anything you want. So, wow, we've kind of got this color shading thing going on today, don't we? All right, I just found another pear. So we've got 4 pears total. And we've got some green bell peppers. And I used one of those, so there was 4 before I broke into it. Here's a little bok choy leaf that we'll probably eat. This is another example of scarring versus rotten. Let me see if there's a... When you're feeling peppers, that's a funny phrase, isn't it? So like this one feels a little softer than the other one, so I would want to use this one up first. So that's something to kind of think about. And I see a question. Yeah, juicing watermelon with lime is really, really delicious. Okay. We've got some Poblano Peppers. And I've gotten to the point, it's changing in different places, but I am able to pick some of the stuff that comes, or actually all the stuff that comes into my box now. For several months I was not able to. And there's nothing wrong either way. It was fun having surprises. Okay, so this one has a few spots right there that are softer. That's going to need to be used before the rest of it. That's a little bit of a soft spot. This one's in good shape. This one's a little, yeah, it's a little soft. So that is more of it's needing to be used soon than scarring. And so how you can always tell is by touching it. That gives you the best clue that you can get, really. Okay, we've got another lime. We've got some Brussels sprouts. Hello, cruciferous crunch. I feel you. Ooh, another pear. I like the pears. And we always get these ice bags too. So I put them over to the side. You can either, it says drain. Ooh, this one's new. I'll have to read about this. So it says drainable gel plus plant food. Huh. I like that. You're not supposed to eat it though. But I've got to check that out because that would be really interesting because I'm trying to start some plants right now. And I got some jalapeno peppers. These bags feel so funny. So those of you who may have joined us late, what we're doing is we're unboxing Misfits Market, my weekly delivery. This is the large box. And all the produce is organic. And it costs $35. Which I think once we get to the end, we're going to find... Oh yeah, and that's a good example to show you. Okay. Let me see if I can find, do I have any with scars on them? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, my planted squash might like that. It's true. And I'm trying to, so this is a scar. This might be a little in between. It's hard to, this one looks like it's getting soft, so it needs to be used really quick. What I think I may do is make some really hot sauce from the Ultimate Vegan Cookbook for your Instant Pot. And it uses peppers, and I use a little bit of tequila and lime, so I kind of make it like a margarita hot sauce, but it is very hot. And another pear, 6 pears. I feel like we're winning a game. Do you guys feel that way too? And another bok choy leaf. We've got some carrots going on here. Ooh, a lot of carrots. Let me wait for those. Let me get these oranges. This orange is a little soft. So, and what I like to do as I'm pulling all this produce out is then when I'm stacking it in a bowl or putting it away, I want to put the stuff that needs to be used up first on top. And then they have this for the layer to separate them to make it everything come out a little bit better. Okay, and let's get the carrots. And we've got a lot of good carrots. I'll show you overhead. Okay, and you'll notice too that sometimes they'll start to grow again. And you can actually cut this top part off and put it in water, and you might get some greens out of it to be able to use. Okay, so we got a bunch of carrots, another orange, and this is the only one that I feel is soft. I got some red potatoes. Okay, let me put these over here. And then I've got some really giant sweet potatoes. So last week I got little teeny tiny sweet potatoes. And this time I have the ginormous ones. Okay. And then I have a big old cabbage. And now the true test. It is not quite as big as my face. So I think that's a good size too. And what I'll do is I'll peel these outer leaves off that look a little bit icky. And if I'm just going to store it and not use it, sometimes I will just let them stay this way and peel them back before I use them. Okay. That looks like a good place for that. So all of this produce that we're seeing here is all organic. And I mean, these potatoes are probably more than a pound each already. So I feel pretty good about this spread for $35. I think it's an awesome value. And then I went ahead, because they do have some groceries you can order right now. And normally I would not order just regular organic old-fashioned oats because I would want them to be gluten-free. But since we're in the new normal, I figured it can't hurt to have some, just in case. Like, what happens if I can't get the other kind? This way I can still make a lot of things with oats. And they are gluten-free. I thought I ordered not gluten-free. So, magically, these are perfect. And if you have celiac disease, so I can't eat gluten, but I have a gluten intolerance. That is different than celiac disease. Celiac disease, you shouldn't eat the gluten-free crust from Pizza Hut because there's flour everywhere, right? And I'm not saying you should eat at Pizza Hut, but you can get a cheeseless pizza that's vegan. So if the need arises, know that you have the option. But if you have a gluten intolerance or a gluten allergy, you might be able to, and you have to discuss that with your doctor. But that's why I was going to go ahead and get some oats that weren't gluten-free just to have them as a backup. Yeah, and actually, no, and this isn't, it is a happy surprise that these are gluten-free, and they might have been. I had decided in my mind that they absolutely were not gluten-free. But with oats, right, I can make oat milk, I can make oat yogurt, I can make oat cream, I can make oatmeal, I can use it as a crumble topping for like an apple crumble. There's all these different things I can do with oats. So for me, having that as a staple and having extra is very important to me. Hi, Miss Norma. Welcome. I'm glad you caught today's little live. And let me see. I don't think I've missed anybody else. So you guys, those of you that are new, and I'll show you this again. This is the bounty from my Misfit Market box this week, not this month. And it's missing a pepper and some bok choy because I ate those last night. We've got a couple of big bunches of collards, 6 pears, 4 oranges, 2 packages of Brussels sprouts, 2 packages of green beans, a whole bunch of carrots. A big, as my face, cabbage, red cabbage, and then we've got giant potatoes and some little red potatoes, poblano peppers, some jalapeno peppers, some bell peppers, and some limes. And I ordered extra oats. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you here. Yeah, the healthy greens are awesome. And the bok choy is something Cheryl usually won't eat because she doesn't like celery. So I chopped it up and I sauteed it in this general sauce that I had that's a pre-made sauce. And I diluted it a little bit because it's too spicy for her. And she ate it all and liked it. So she's asking for collards. So tonight, actually, I wanted to show you this because we talked about beans yesterday. And so these are some beans I started soaking yesterday. Does anybody know what kind of beans those are? Because they have a unique shape, is your hint. And I got them out of one of the Nourish boxes that I unboxed earlier in the year. And I'll give you a minute because I know there's a lag. I'll take a sip of coffee. Okay, nobody? Mother Sollard beans. Nope, they're not Christmas limas, but they look, the coloring is like Christmas limas, but they are smaller beans. And let's see if this helps. But I appreciate the gas. These have also been soaked, so they're about twice the size that you see them in the package too. Hey, Judy, thanks for coming. And she's from California. And yeah, it is really nice produce. And again, this is, in general, I have to pile some things up so that we can see everything in this camera area that I have. Last week's was, like I said, a little bit light, but they added so many new members. And they almost always, I think they tell you how many pounds it could be from here to here. And I think last week's was within that. And I think in general, they go over. So if I get a light box here now and again, I don't care. And you know what? This is awesome. I'm really, really happy. And I was really happy last night. Usually I don't sneak and open it until I show it to you, but I just wanted to go ahead and check and see if there was something I could use. We decided we needed takeout, and so we did Chinese takeout. Chinese eat-in, I guess is what it would be. And so with any of these things, you can, so for prepping, we could make the Cruciferous Crunch copycat from Trader Joe's. We could use the collards in that. We could use the bok choy. We could use the Brussels sprouts. We could use the carrots and the cabbage and kind of make our own version, right? We could go ahead and cut up all the peppers, the jalapenos, the poblanos, the green bell peppers, and we could chop those up or slice them in fajita slices or whatever you wanted to do, and you could put those in baggies or a freezer safe container. And I like to use the baggies because I can freeze them in really thin layers, and that way you can just break them up and throw them in the pan. I do not do anything for onions or bell peppers before I do that. I just chop and I freeze, and then I take them out of the freezer and immediately put them in for whatever I'm using for the recipe. You want to only do that for cooked. You don't want to cut up the bell pepper and then try to use it in a salad if you freeze it, because it'll be gross. Oh, and Tom says a new follower, and he loves my program. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. And I hope you're doing well. Tell me where you're from and what your weather is like. So with those, you can do that. With the limes, one of the things that you could do is go ahead and make a limeade. You can put those, you can chop them up and put them in the Vitamix and get all the yummy essential oils out of the peels and everything, and strain it if you want to make like a lime concentrate or a limeade concentrate. I keep promising I'm going to do some sort of dehydrated lime chili pepper condiment that I'm going to dehydrate, so I could do that. I also have some limes that aren't looking as good that I could try that with. The pears are going to have to be a while before they can be actually eaten because they're hard. And that's good. Just let them, you want to keep them out on the counter and they should ripen up. They can be a little avocado-ish in that they're hard. Now they're all ripe. Eat them right now. So just be prepared for that. I'm trying to think of what else we can do. So my favorite Brussels sprout recipe is I slice the Brussels sprouts. I saute some onions and garlic, a little bit of tamari sauce sometimes, and sometimes I just use salt. And if you can always use a salt substitute wherever I ask for you to use salt. I saute those. You can use some tempeh as well, so you can brown the tempeh, then add that in with the Brussels sprouts. And sometimes I go ahead and put shredded carrots and shredded cabbage, and like it would be pretty if you add an orange shredded carrot, some purple shredded cabbage along with those green Brussels sprouts. And then I put some liquid smoke and a little bit of maple syrup in there, and so it's kind of smoky and sweet. And that's how I got Cheryl to eat her Brussels sprouts. And Tom is from Iowa, yay! And it's cloudy in the mid-40s, and it's sunny in the mid-40s here. I hope you're doing well there, and I hope you're able to get produce. So what we're looking at here is misfitsmarket.com, which is the produce delivery service that I use. There are many across the country. Again, for those of you who may be coming in late, there's Hungry Harvest, there's Imperfect Produce, there's several. And please, if you guys are in an area, I'm in North Carolina, right? So what I have available may not be available in Washington or Iowa or California. So if you are already using one, please go ahead and put it in the comments so you can share it with other people, because it can be a little bit harder getting produce right now. So I want to make sure that we all kind of are in this together. And again, I've got listed next to the video somewhere, depending on how you're watching it or where you're watching it, a link to get 25% off your first Misfit Market box. And then I have a Prime 30-day trial you can sign up for. You can go back and make sure that it's unsubscribed. And if you're confused about that, just let me know, and I can come in and do a quick video to help you guys with that. But if you're near a Whole Foods, you can order for delivery through. If you're a Prime member, you get free delivery, but make sure to tip your drivers for sure. And what everybody is finding out is that you go there, you go through, you put everything in your cart, and you get there to check out, and it says there's no delivery times today, there's no delivery times tomorrow, and people give up. Don't give up. I kept refreshing, and I refreshed like every 5 or 10 minutes, and almost every time something will come up for that day. So I feel like what's happening is because of the increase in orders that they're having people come in when, or putting it up when there's shoppers available. Okay, so the other thing I have is Instacart. And I'm not sure if some people are on strike now or not, but Instacart is in more places around the country, and I've had them delivered when I'm traveling. So each place will have different stores. So like with mine, I can do Costco or BJ's, and I don't need a membership. I think you get a 7 or 14-day trial with them, and the code gives you $10 off your delivery. After that, they want you to pay like $100 for a year, and if you order $35 at a time, you get free delivery. But again, you need to tip your delivery person. So you are paying more. So I don't want to mislead you in that way, but we're trying not to go out in the stores because we're not the super target audience, but we are also trying to be very safe. And we are tipping usually our young shoppers at least 20%. And if you can do a little bit more, that can even be helpful. Because remember, they're having to buy right now their own gloves and masks and sanitation supplies. So do try and be kind. We talk about that every day here in Kathy's Kitchen, is trying to be kind and helpful to other people, because that will help us stay more steady. Because with things being different, it's a little harder. We have to think in different ways, right? I've been getting this before, but I was not as grateful for it as I am now. I will tell you that. So it's made me think about that. It also makes me think about the people in the grocery stores and how hard they're working just to try and keep us with whatever we can. So when we order from Instacart and they're out of half the things, great. It's fine. We'll make do just fine without those. So try and remember, it's not it's not your delivery person or shopper's fault. It's not the cashier's fault. It's not even the store's fault. They have extra people stocking the shelves. Truck drivers have extra trucks delivering all over the country. The supply chain has completely changed for everyone. And it's a scary time for all of us. And so the more helpful and kind we can be out in the world, the more we can spread that around, the better it'll be for everybody. And I want you to know that I appreciate you guys, and I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are all wonderful, and most of you are already in Vegan Recipes, Cooking with Kathy Hester, which is my free private Facebook group. Got it out. I didn't think I was gonna. I would love for you to go there. It's a wonderful community of people. They're very helpful. You can ask questions about recipes and ask me if you have some sort of produce or something you're not sure how to cook it, or you want me to find you a couple of recipes. I'd be glad to do that. So please let me help where I can. And if you're already on the group and somebody asks for green pepper recipes and you've got great ones, or there's some that you have as go-to, please share those too, okay? And Jody, hi Jody. She is looking forward to the day that Misfit Market finally comes to her area. It's been waiting for almost a year, but hopefully someday. I've seen so many wonderful testimonials about how great they are. Oh, and I didn't even tell you guys again. Let me move this. Oh, there we go. And actually, here, I'll put that up. And I didn't put up any of these comments. I've just been like chatting. But Misfit Market, one of the things I really like too is a couple of weeks ago they emailed us all out and said that they were raising the workers' wages so that they could help to pay for childcare. They are also feeding them from takeout from local restaurants. So, and that's because they're having, I mean, people are, if you've looked around, I mean, as far as like Walmart, Whole Foods, grocery stores, Amazon warehouses, all these different places are hiring as fast as they can. And that is not me saying that all the conditions are perfect or anything like that. So please don't necessarily let that influence your buying habits. But they're doing the best they can, and your local grocery store is doing the best it can to keep those kind of set up together. But also, probably everyone you've ever had your email put in with has told you how they're dealing with sanitization. So that's that. And I don't think I have anything else to say about that. I'm doing pretty good today. I did not sleep as good as I did the night before, where I slept 12 hours, which I think was just me getting some of my stress kind of taken care of. And I don't know. I think it's still going to be a good day. I've got some stuff to do. Obviously, this is clean your fridge day. So I'm going to go in and get some things. There's not much to clean out, I don't think, but I'm going to clean out the refrigerator really well. That's if you need some structure in your life, the first thing you should do in the morning is unload your dishwasher, which means the last thing you should do at night is start your dishwasher. And for me, that changes the whole tone of my day, because if I'm starting with an empty dishwasher, it's like this new, bright, sunny outlook. Another thing is once a week, if you can get groceries and produce delivered at the same time, make that your day to clean out the fridge. It is the bane of my existence, because I end up having a lot of food, because a lot of times I'm making extra recipes or doing classes and things like that. Also, April classes should be coming up today. So keep an eye out for them. I'm going to post them on all the pages and groups. And Jackie said she keeps putting off looking into Misfits and Imperfects in her rural area. It's too wet to work the garden. Another thing you can do too is try and contact some of your local farmers. Some people have CSAs, and sometimes they have drive-through produce. So they're setting up drive-through. So just like at the vet or the pharmacy or takeouts, a lot of times now you can pull in. They will have your order and bring it to you. So you can find out if there's some farmers near you that are doing that or that are willing to do that. Oh, and Jackie said, no dishwasher for me, I'm it. I bow to you and your dishwashing prowess. I didn't have a dishwasher until I was in my 30s, so I understand. With what I do, with writing cookbooks and doing so much recipe development, I have gone through dishwashers because I use them more than the average family does, even though there's two of us, because I might be developing a lot of recipes. And Brandy was saying, oh yes, I forgot about CSAs. And some people are going to be doing them and some are going to be out. But what you can do is, even if someone has a CSA and they're sold out or they're not doing anything, you could drop them an email and say, hey, I would like to support you during this time. Is there a way that if there's some leftover produce that I could be on the list to get some of that? So it helps them because everybody's kind of in this weird, strange space right now. And so you could do the same thing. You could also contact some of the restaurants, especially if there's a vegan restaurant that's still doing takeout or something. You could even contact them and say, hey, is there a way that I can buy some produce from you, right? And they may be slammed. They may be like, we cannot even get enough. However, they might say, we got a double order of sweet potatoes. Do you want to buy some of those, right? Another thing to do as well is find out who supplies the restaurants with produce, because a lot of them are turning into doing, instead of business to business, business to consumer, because the restaurants typically aren't buying as much as they were before, so they have a surplus, and that could be another source to get that. And even if you live in a small place, as long as there's a restaurant, you could call them and ask them for information on their supplier. You might, and depending on where it is and how they're doing it, I'm not sure, but it wouldn't hurt. And still, you're supporting all of that, because we don't want the produce to go away from the restaurants. We don't want the restaurants to go away, right? And so that's about it. And you guys have hung in here with me for a very long time. And so this is this week's Misfit Market. I'm going to be coming on tomorrow. I think I'm coming on at 1. Yes, I am, because I have a 10:30 meeting. So I should be coming on at 1 again on Friday. Next week, it may go back and forth between earlier and later. Tell me, is there a time that's better for you guys? I have a class right now that's from 12 to 1 through next week. So that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of trying this, because I want you guys to be able to be in here too. But anyhow, have a good day, drink lots of water, eat your vegetables, and take care of yourself, right? Take yourself for a walk or do a little yoga in the house if it's not a good idea for you to go walking where you are. There's lots of places that you can get free videos to do things like that. And make sure that you're carving out a little time for just like self-care of your mind. Read a book, take a bath. If you can, sit on your deck, right? Just enjoy yourself. And thank you so much, Tom, for joining. And you guys, big warm hugs, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Have a great day.